violence on our sun sight or screen on our cranium has a 7 years difference, miraculous advantage on everyone except us for being American and African, synced, timed, trained at once, which makes time doesn't motion conformist with thumbnails, shadows, geometrical design, making our sight dreamy like or not omnipresent, like a restrained 7 years difference experience, which time cannot be controlled since that time of the first violent behavior on our celebrities. And celebrities being the founding fathers and mothers for all religious books. First, the Quran, book to teach about the community predictions that can occur if you don't grant the original in those 83 names. And the Bible is the original predictions for those founding fathers and of art, science, and mathematics principles of African descent if we don't birth them in those names. And the Torah, the political predictions, which are similar than the Bible ones, and the Buddhism, the supernatural one, which is feminine or female-like. And those predictions influence those violence that makes restraint experience of statues having cranium versus brain picking up transversal spark raying days prediction during mother's experience of birth, which the kid can be soulless over those time matters before, especially for a God Jesus like me, because we are human that are half which is shadow, and three, secondary soul, which means in time we are present and future. In our future body, we are given violence not to get to this truth. 100%. With trajectory parallel DNA existence over engendered cortex unfit, assuming time is neutral naive, and conception only physical, important inventions through papers. And with this knowledge, I heard in reflection tools of cameras and television, there is a camera directional footage chronometer that when added funds, Megatron could decode all historical given on proper spiritual community violence based over lenses on stare face down reasons that has an equilibrium of online cam added up through television, forming a natural virtual mind inversion of a universal trajectory caption in cranium that further auto-realizing the prior past of species, gigantic corporeal bodies with omninatural sight capacity, with religious theories counting resources of any type to cure this dimensionally oblique truth of second self of television over time spirituals as a that might be a weak visual reception nervously of cranium hemisphere grid optic consciousness confusing this time parallel coast sides that if we are now granted our true identity processing might make sense of this hidden speed of light colors word perception versus reality of everybody in the celebrity music or movies or in the scientific world. This theory generated negative feedback from the extrovert with their struggle perceiving timelessly the idea that presence of reflected television electrons could showcase inner demeanor less sight, which may confuse who you are in your full spirited self artificially. Mine is a reflection, like I said, of a financial jet black side of Tommy McLennan and Y side of TI. And which is a historic of being confused over Jesus' real skin tone and God Jesus ways of mine. And the historic of John League Shoemaker becoming black as Robert Fleming Jr. changed name, and a historic of Player One and Bloody Bones. That some feel the black and the white is two different people, which is not. And Tommy McLennan and Robert Petway.